It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like R3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at U-Like, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. U-Like. With Ease US, make studio-quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high-quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional-grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. We are live, coming to you live from Central Texas at the top of the Alico building. It is the top of the hour here, 10 a.m. Central in Texas, Central Time. We're going to talk in about 20 minutes. We're going to take you to East Coast time, talk to Murph Barton about the British Open, all kinds of amazing storylines getting set to play out. But your storyline can play out positively if you stick with us and bet on who Murph has to win the British Open. You're going to like the odds, you're going to like the golfer, and you're certainly going to like the payout. There's a couple other really good long shots that Murph has, and we also get into some fun stuff, the TV coverage, what we can expect on NBC, and what we can expect overseas in Ireland for the British Open. So Murph is coming up here in about 20 minutes. Thank you to Slovacics. Thank you to Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers. I heard from our friends at Daniel Stark yesterday. We are curating a new segment, which I cannot wait to unveil. So look forward to that. Of course, our good friends at Socorro Family Ford, Extraco Bank, Crawford Austin Properties, First National Bank of Central Texas, and the list goes on. Last night, Major League Baseball All-Star Game. And I'm going to take you, let's just jump in the time machine real quick. When I was a kid, baseball, the baseball bunch in the morning with Johnny Bench on Saturdays, right? I played Little League. I was obsessed with like This Week in Baseball, the baseball highlight show with Mel Allen. Baseball was the apple of my eye. The All-Star Game was very important because on a Tuesday night in the middle of summer, I got to see all my favorite players, guys who I loved, who I couldn't watch on ESPN in the middle of the week because there was no ESPN baseball coverage at the time. At least it wasn't that prominent, maybe one game a week on Sunday nights. But the All-Star Game, I got to see everything. The pageantry, right? I got to see Gary Gaetti next to Gary Carter. I mean, it was just really fascinating for me. Seeing all the players in their different uniforms. In fact, one All-Star Game evening, it was just me and my dad. I don't know where my mom was. My dad was the best father in the world. He did the best he could, but he certainly had anger issues that I preyed on, right, subconsciously. Anyways, we were doing the dishes, and it was I had to dry a dish or something, and the All-Star Game was coming on. And I said something or did something that moved my father to throw this cookie sheet or cookie tray at me because I didn't wash it properly, or I guess I told him to kick rocks when he told me to wash it, and said, "No All-Star Game for you tonight." I must have been like 9. And I remember like being so upset that I was going to miss the All-Star Game, especially the starting lineups. You know, it was just a real special night. Ultimately, my dad kind of backed off on that, and I think we watched the All-Star Game together and enjoyed it. Last night, the All-Star Game was on. I had no idea what happened until I saw on my phone that Kyle Schwarber, a Philadelphia Philly, won in a swing-off. Never heard of a swing-off. Watched the highlights this morning. It seemed pretty cool. My favorite part of the All-Star Game, just a little bit I saw, was that everybody was back to wearing their uniforms. Like, you know, Phillies guys wearing Phillies uniforms. I really appreciate that. But, man, it is so interesting what happens in sports and what happens in life and what is interesting and what is not. Who would have ever thought in 1989 or 1988, whatever, when I was like 11, 12 years old, and I was fearful of not watching the All-Star Game, that, you know, some 30 years later, I would have my own sports show where rather than open up the show talking about the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, I was going to talk about a women's basketball player again, because that is what is moving me right now. Last night, I watched Caitlin Clark. That's a lie. I only watched part of the game. I had a speaking engagement at MCC College, spoke to a class over there into about the 8 o'clock hour, so I got home to watch the last, 20 minutes of Caitlin Clark and the Fever playing on the road, by the way, at TD Bank Arena, which was sold out. That was another thing that was kind of left. I felt like we don't hit that enough, right? Here's Caitlin Clark selling out arenas. You know, we're not playing at some casino, guys. This is a major basketball league or a major arena, which is pretty damn cool. So I'm watching this game. I turn it on. Apparently, Caitlin Clark had been 0 for 4 early on, or missed her first 4 threes. Then she got hot, scored 9 of the last 11 points for the Fever. Now, at the end of the game, she makes an amazing rebound, a critical rebound, gathers it on the defensive end, flips it ahead, and then trailing back up the court, receives the ball back and makes an amazing assist, another assist, right? She averages 9 assists a game. Backdoor layup for the Fever, kind of clinching the moment or clinching the win for them. But then hobbling back up court is Caitlin Clark. And you could tell right away, and we're not going to spend all day on this, but this is like a young woman who's going through a lot. It's so clear. Going back and watching the game, as I did after it was over, this is a player going through a shooting slump. But it's not just like when Caitlin Clark, I believe she can hide it all she wants. when Caitlin Clark, a player, a person of that magnitude, right? Like where she is now in society, like that's not a shooting slump. Like that becomes, I would believe for her, like almost like a life slump. And here's what I mean, especially when you're hurt, because, and this goes in the whole life slump, right? Like being hurt is part of this slump, right? I think that all the fanfare, all the attention that she's getting right now, that a person like her, with genuine, with a genuine moral compass, right? Someone who wants to deliver for these people who love her and love to come watch her play. She's not able to play again now. It looks like this, by the way, was her right groin that was not re-aggravated because her left groin was what was injured last night. So now after missing 5 games, it looks like she's going to miss maybe a couple more. By the way, it's a back-to-back. So tonight they play at Brooklyn, the defending champs. You could imagine that game at Barclays will be sold out regardless if she plays or not because people are still going to go. But that's a really hot ticket. And then Saturday night, back in Indianapolis, is the All-Star game, in which, of course, she's supposed to star and perform in the three-point contest. Like, there is a lot riding on Caitlin Clark now. And I feel like she's ready to burst at the seams. And I would be too. Like, I know it's wonderful being an athlete that is such a celebrity and it really is a generational talent. Like, I don't know, actually, but I would imagine it is. However, there's so much that comes with there's so much responsibility that comes with that. I mean, when you look at Angel Reese, when you look at Caitlin Clark, just over the last month and a half, you got a major Angel Reese controversy, which continues to somehow go on and go on and go on. We'll have the latest iteration of that coming up in a couple moments. Then you have, all this stuff with referees aren't calling her fouls, right? Then you have the last time that they played Connecticut, and there was that huge situation with Caitlin getting fouled, and then Sophie Cunningham claps back, as they like to say, right? And so everybody's talking about that. Then you get the all-star voting thing, right? The players don't think she's a good guard or the 9th best guard. Then you have the Christine Brennan book and the controversies that come out around that. Then, of course, the all-star game is this weekend. There's responsibility around that. Of course, you've never been hurt before. You played 139 games in college. Now you're finally hurt. And she's talking about the fact that being hurt is really difficult for her because, first of all, when you get to the facility, when you're hurt, and I know this just from being around pro sports, like it's just a bunch of busy work for these athletes. Like, okay, rehab, film, scout, like you're not on the floor. And she's been open about the fact that that's frustrating to her. And we started this by talking about her shooting slump, which she will eventually shoot her way out of, okay? But this is one of the biggest slumps we've ever seen by an athlete. And here is what I mean by that. It is not the first time we've seen some of the best shooters we've ever been graced with, right? Struggle shooting the basketball. But I believe it's the first time we've seen someone who is in the center of the cultural spotlight like Caitlin Clark is right now. And that cultural spotlight, we'll call it a cultural spider web right now, is just reaching into all areas of society. And I think the responsibility and the pressure is coming right back on Caitlin Clark, and we're seeing it, right? Last night, when she realized that she had injured that groin, immediately, and I was watching live for that, you could see in her eyes, I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh man, this girl's getting emotional. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you, dude? I mean, think about all the possible pressure that can be on her, aside from her love of the game for basketball. She just wants to play, dude. And when she's playing, that's her therapy. Her therapy through this slump. Her therapy through all of the noise, right? All the things going on around her. All of the barking that I'm doing right here, okay? That everybody has gotten a piece of because of the interest associated with this story. It's compelling, dude. It is. So all of this stuff is going on, and she's without her therapy because she's hurt again and has been hurt recently. It goes all the way back. I can remember the Tiger Woods scandal in 2010. and people were like, how in the hell is this guy going to come back from all this and play in the Masters in 2010? And folks who knew way more than me were like, that's this dude's therapy. Like, he's got to get out there, because out here in this noise, like, he's just another vulnerable guy, but he's got a superpower. And to be able to get back on the course and exude that superpower and tap into it is therapy for him. Same for Caitlin Clark. If she's not able to shoot her way out of this slump on the court, it will continue. And I think there was a process that we watched, not only after she got hurt, where she went over to the bench. Before that, she butted her head on the stanchion underneath the basket, walked over, put a towel on her head, got emotional. And before that, everybody was talking on social media, at least I saw this morning, of the altercation she got into with referee Michael Price. And that was unfortunate, because I think that you're seeing more of her frustration bubble over. And that is another window into, this is a tough time for her. So I think she'll shoot her way out of it eventually. I think this will all pass. There's no question. But like we do a lot of times in sports media and watching sports, even all the way back to when I was a kid watching sports, I used to always wonder, like, why after week 2, if the Eagles are 0-2, I would ask my father, like, why is everybody in the city saying that Buddy Ryan should be fired and the Eagles suck and we should all ship him off to Arizona, where Norman Brayman should move the team? That's what everybody would say at the time. And it was just because we are in a reactive sports culture society. Fan is short for fanatic, right? We're into this stuff. We are, and we react. But looking with the big picture, Caitlin Clark will get through this, And I really just hope that she's back for the All-Star game, for the sport of women's basketball, for the WNBA. All right, another thing to talk about, and we got to talk about it. Let me get refreshed here. I saw this yesterday, and I was kind of freaked out. For Robert Griffin, Shaquille O'Neal. And I'll read it for you here, because the quote is daunting. This is one of the very rare times in my life nowadays where I'm out on the trail here in Central Texas, and I see an alert come on my phone that says Shaquille O'Neal threatens to punch Robert Griffin in the face. I'm like, okay, I'll bite. And I click on it, and it's a TMZ article, and then I click on the actual clip, and oh yeah, I'll read you the verbatim what Shaq said, okay? But he was on the Off the Record podcast, and he took the opportunity to address Robert Griffin and his back and forth with Angel Reese. Here it goes. This is, I quote, and we're quoting Shaq. RG3, tweet another monkey post about my girl Angel Reese, and I'm going to punch you in your effing face. He said the word. K, it's enough. Like, I don't usually do stuff like this, but stop it, bro. You got your job. You got your podcast. Leave my Angel Reese alone. I'm the one calling her and telling her not to respond. Effing stop it. That's the last time, K. Thank you. Yo, this dude was serious. Like, if he bumped into RG3, I think he would grab him and say that to him. Like, people are pissed at RG3. Not only because of now it's starting to look like he's kind of, and again, I've gone on the record, I'll say it again, disclaimer, qualifier, whatever. I've had experiences with RG3. I think he is a great dude. And there's been instances where I've seen that in his behavior, okay? Now, that being said, some of this behavior we have seen exhibited recently by the former Heisman Trophy winner, first-round pick, Baylor legend. Again, so that it makes this whole situation sort of radioactive around here. He's exhibited weird behavior. And staying on this Angel Reese thing is just kind of clunky behavior for a guy of his ilk. And also, you saw Shaq reference the tweet. You know, the fact that he retweeted that racist post and an account that had 33 followers, I can't imagine, or I'm starting to get the sense that it's really frustrated a lot of the folks in the black community. You know, talking to my buddy John Tobias, who we have on this show, who's a lightning rod himself as far as what he's doing in sports and what he's doing for underrepresented kids getting into sports with the Strength in Numbers Network. But, you know, John was like, you just can't do that. You can't take a post like that nobody's going to see and retweet it to 1 million followers and then subsequently get after a 20-something-year-old girl for something that happened. Like, it really is bizarre, guys. It really is bizarre. And I wonder who's counseling RG3, right? We almost went from, okay, now we're on the couch with Caitlin Clark. Now I need to get RG3 on the couch. Like, I need to find out why he's doing this. Or I don't need to find out, but I would like to. And I would like to believe that he's going to lay out in all this, because it's very clear. Like, when we talked about this situation on Friday, I don't think that I approached it or gave the weight of the story maybe the property that it deserved. And I think that this is a little heavier than we thought, so it's kind of a bummer. But like, it's getting serious, and I can only hope that Robert Griffin will just lay out. I saw Gilbert Arenas' show, and I think it was what's his name, Nick Young. I think Nick Young was inferring that in his opinion, like, this is coming from RG3's wife. Like, it's it's just a mess, dude. So we love RG3. We love him at the Rogue Media Network, and I hope that I hope that this situation just because the thing is, here's what will make this situation better. That's what'll make it better. Like, RG3 doing nothing. Like, show up to work at Fox, do a podcast, go to Texas Tech, interview Joey McGuire, like, get back to the basics, dude. And everything will be cool. But, like, if he continues to kick this can down the road, I cannot believe it'll be good for him and for his career ultimately at Fox. And Shaq, this is the last thing I'll say before we take a break. Shaq made the comment, and Scotty, you're with me right now. You don't have to speak on this, but I want to kind of see your face when I tell you this. Shaq said, imagine you win a Heisman Trophy and get taken in the first round of the draft, and people are going to remember you for a podcast. Right? I mean, you can just shake your head with it, but, like, really think about that. Like, this is a guy who—
That's what he said.
He impacted your life so greatly,
Yep.
being a Baylor football fan
Yep.
forever.
Yep.
And now he's kind of taken it. We talk so much about legacy. He's taking his legacy and sticking it in the toilet right now.
Yeah, it's a tough look.
Am I wrong?
It's a tough look. Yeah.
Yeah.
He will always have a legacy here in Waco. That's
And by the way, all this is rectifiable. I mean, literally, if he just lays out, you don't even need to apologize, dude. Just lay low.
Yeah.
Just lay low.
That's the thing. He could spend the next 20 years being the best analyst on TV for college football, and we'd remember him fondly for media too.
Totally.
Right? Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Everybody says things they shouldn't.
Yeah.
But he does. I think if there was, far be it from me to give any piece of advice to RG3. He is someone I look up to in a lot of ways. But if there's anything I would say to him, it's that.
Yeah.
It's you don't have to comment. Like, I think he. And I think this is common. Everybody, we do this. If you have a show, a podcast, you feel the need to speak on something, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, if there's an issue you don't know about or that's going to raise controversy, you're allowed to not talk.
Yes.
And that's where, like, I'm not a stick to sports guy. Like, you and I both, like, kind of low-key love that Stephen A. Smith doesn't, like, because we think it's interesting, even if we don't agree with him on everything. But, like, RG3, I think it would be good for his media career if for a little while it's just football.
Yeah.
Like, football season's next month. Let's talk football.
I wonder—
and by the way, RG3 talks about football. People listen. People trust him. People respect him.
Yeah.
He clearly knows what he's talking about.
And he's great. He's talent.
He's phenomenal at it.
He's really good.
So if I were in his living room, I'd say, bro, I love you and want you to have a great reputation.
Yeah.
Football season's next month. Let's lock in.
Yeah.
Football. Let's do 6 months of football. Seriously.
Yeah, like Tom Brady getting ready for his Fox season last year. That's all you heard about. Maybe a little too much, but, like, let's just prep. Let's go in the bunker. Let's get ready for college football.
Yes.
Yeah, and people will love you when you come back, or at least they'll appreciate what you have to say. All right, so last words for RG3. I remember when Tom Brady was in trouble for Deflategate, and his father was going public with all kinds of quotes, and my man Mad Dog Russo went on this huge rant where he was just screaming, lay low, Lay low, talking to Tom Brady's dad. And that's what RG3 needs to do. He just needs to lay low. All right, Pete Sousa Show comes back. Murph Barton, we're talking British Open, giving you your predictions. Get your popcorn ready. Get your bank account ready. Let's go.
Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. At Toussaint's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Toussaint's.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com. BizChair.com. Your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Born from a third-generation lighting family, we craft beautifully designed, premium lighting that's made to be affordable. Inspired by Grandma Mitzi's eclectic style, we're on a mission to make high-quality lighting accessible to all. Whether you're updating your space or adding a unique fixture, Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, we've got your team's colors running through our veins. From official replica kits to custom player prints of your favorite stars like Ronaldo, Messi, and Kane, Kitbag is your one-stop shop for all things football. Powered by Fanatics, we deliver to over 180 countries, ensuring you get the gear you need fast. For true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kitbag.
The British Open tees off overnight. You can find it on Peacock, and it'll end up on NBC. And Mike Barton is with us. Murph Barton. He's live outside of the look at that. It looks like you're outside the clubhouse over there at Philly Country Club, but you're at home, and you're here to handicap the British Open, another major, another chat with Murph. Some of the big storylines. The one thing that jumps out to me, and I want you to help me figure it out a little bit, Shane Lowry and Rory McIlroy, both Irishmen, right? They're two best friends. And is this the course they played on growing up?
No.
Okay.
I think they played in some events here. They're both from Northern Ireland and certainly played some junior events here. But Rory grew up at a course called Hollywood, I think.
Okay.
But they're going to be big time fan favorites here. There's, I think, Shane Lowry. They have a giant mural of him painted on a building right outside the gates to the club, and there'll be a lot of pressure on Rory to win here.
So Lowry won, right, in 2019.
He
and I
did.
guess Rory shot like a 79 in the first round.
It was one of the most disappointing rounds of golf I've ever watched.
So how important is this for Rory when you think about, that huge win, earlier in the spring and then a little bit of a fall off?
I don't think it's that important. I don't feel like there's the weight of the world on him like there has been in the past after winning the Grand Slam. I think it's all gravy now. I'm sure he wants to win. I'm sure the crowd will be behind him. But I, as a fan, don't feel that same pressure that I've felt on him in the past. Like in 2019, when he triple bogeyed the first hole, you could everyone was like, oh, here we go. Like, I don't think that would happen this year.
Now, do you remember in July of 2019, had you gotten engaged to Megan yet or not? At the time of the British Open?
No, I don't think so. I think it was maybe in September.
It was like right after, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But you're much better at that than I am. It was in that ballpark.
I think it was. For some reason, I remember that. Scotty Scheffler, a little philosophical, talking to the media earlier this week. What did you make of some of those comments? I don't know this dude. Like, I don't watch golf like you, but he was very reflective.
I thought it was awesome, man. I really thought it was cool. I think he's a super religious guy. I think puts that front and center in his life. And you and I have had these deep conversations before. There's only one way to fill the void in your soul, and that's God. And that's what a lot of people believe. Money, success, all those things. As soon as you achieve it, you just want more. And I think that's all Scotty's saying. He's just saying, he works incredibly hard to win a golf tournament, and then he enjoys it for a day, and then he's just like, oh wow, okay, now I gotta get back on the grind and go try to win another one. It's not as satisfying, I guess, as he thought it would be as a kid, grinding for hours and hours to be the best he could be. And I think most people can relate to that.
It's very fair, like his assessment of it, and somebody from the outside who doesn't know what it's like to win anything of that magnitude. He's like, it lasts for 2 minutes. And then you're on to the next thing. It was really cool.
Right. It is very cool. And I've seen a lot of people come out on Twitter, a lot of big business people and other athletes saying they totally relate to what Scotty's saying. Like it's all about the journey, You got to enjoy the journey more than the actual pinnacle of success.
They enjoy the ride, Murph. That's what they say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So long ride for Scheffler over there. Playing links courses is something, just reading about the tournament this morning, that typically he has, I don't even want to say struggled with because it's all relative, but hasn't played with as much success as he has in America. Does that factor in playing a links course this weekend? Like where do you see him going with that in his way?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. He has the game. He's the best golfer in the world by far. He can win this tournament. Nobody would be surprised if he won. But he does not have a ton of experience playing links golf. He came in. He had a top 10 last week at the Scottish Open. If you watched it at all, he was like beside himself, frustrated on the greens. He could not read the putts. But his bad stuff is still a top 10, which most guys would kill for that. So, I think he's one of 5 guys that have to be the heavy favorites to win this week.
So this course, Royal Portrush, right? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
So who's has an advantage playing on this course? If you could pick a couple guys that you're looking at saying, okay, this sets up well for them.
It's hard to say. I don't think that this is a course that really favors the bombers. It's not a super long course, so I think everybody will be in play. I think short game is at a premium. at all Open Championships. They're expecting some wind, which I think is cool. So I think that guys with a super high ball flight like Bryson DeChambeau will struggle. When it's windy, you want to try to flight your ball lower, and DeChambeau has not shown the ability to do that. So I think honestly, it brings in if it is windy, I think it brings in probably 30 to 40 guys that could win the golf tournament, which I think is great and fun as a fan.
What does rain do to this weekend? Because they're expecting a lot of rain today.
I don't think rain affects that much. I don't think golfers mind playing in the rain. They hate the wind because they like to know where if they hit a shot, they want to feel confident that it's going to go where they want it to go. And the wind just makes that impossible. The courses over there, the ground is weird. It's different than it is over here. Over here, when it rains, everything gets super soft. It doesn't seem to quite soften up as much over there. Like the fairways are hard, the greens are hard. So I'm not too concerned about what the rain does.
Xander Schauffele won, obviously, this tournament last year. He also won the U.S. Open last year. He's been dealing with a rib injury. Has that hampered his play this calendar year? Like, has that really affected him and his ability to win?
I don't know. He doesn't talk about it much. He hasn't had a great year for him. I mean, he's still having a pretty good year by PGA Tour standards, but he's hitting the ball great. His numbers off the tee, his approach numbers are all really good, which you would think if he had a rib injury, that would be what suffered. It's around the green where he's struggling, and he's historically been a great putter, and he has not been putting great. So he's a guy that I just don't know how to handicap because he's so good. If he gets hot with the putter this week, he could easily win. But if he continues to play like he has been, I don't expect him. He could top 20, but I don't think he'll win.
Who's the favorite in your mind to win this tournament?
You don't
know?
John Rahm. Love John Rahm this week.
Do you love the odds, or do you just love him coming into this tournament?
I think John Rahm's going to win this golf tournament, and I do like the odds. He's 9-1, so I'm definitely putting some money on that.
All right, after Rahm,
John Rahm's come in top 10 the last 3 majors. He has not won an Open Championship. He wants it bad. It's by far the most prestigious event on his calendar. I think he wants the career Grand Slam. He's got to get this in the PGA to get that done, and I think he will get it done in his career. He's had success at Portrush. He's had success in Open Championships. He just hasn't won, and he's coming in playing great golf. I think it's his time.
So after Rahm, who do you like as a favorite?
A little bit further down the odds board, but I like Tyrrell Hatton. He's been playing really well, had a great finish at Oakmont. He kind of had a couple bad breaks at the end. He plays well over there. He's from England. He's very familiar with links golf. He just won a live event in Dallas, I think maybe, or he top 5'd, I forget. But he's coming in playing really good golf, and he's in my mind, he has the talent to be a major champion. So I think there's a good chance he'll be in the top 5. And then I love Tommy Fleetwood. He just fairway Jesus. He frustrates bettors because he's top 10 more than anybody without a win. He's always right there. And I'm of the philosophy in golf, especially if you keep giving yourself opportunities, if you keep hanging around the basket, you're gonna get over the line one of these times. And this setup, it just sets up really well for Fleetwood.
You mentioned Oakmont before we talked about Fleetwood. What the hell's the story with that guy that got banned from Oakmont for the guy who trashed his locker?
Oh, did he get banned?
That's what I just saw the story this morning. What the hell happened? What did the guy do?
Oh, that's great. He's such a spaz, man. Wyndham Clark, he's just like a real hothead. He won the U.S. Open at LA Country Club a couple years ago, and that's all the media narratives were like how he had controlled his temper, and he has a new woman that a mental coach, and she had brought him over the edge and taught him to deal with his emotions. And That is incredibly weak that he went into Oakmont, one of the like most historic, beautiful golf clubs in the world, and trashed his locker. I mean, he should be banned. I thought the PGA Tour should have suspended him. I think. I mean, that's just ridiculous behavior.
Why did he do that? Was he just upset with himself? Upset with his own play?
He's super hard on himself. He spazzes out all the time. He hits a couple bad shots and he's like out of the tournament because he can't handle himself.
Yeah. It'd be great to get him on the fourth dimension, huh? See what he has to say.
He's like Hagen.
I smashed my golf locker. I'm not out back. All right, let's talk about the live guys. 19 guys. That's a record. Live guys playing in a major, at least according to what it says right here. Who has the best shot out of the live golfers outside of Rahm? You said Rahm.
I love Rahm and I love Hatton.
Okay.
Joaquin Neiman's a great player and has been playing really well in live. He just has not come through in majors. A lot of people have been expecting him to have success for the last 2-3 years, and he just hasn't done it. So if he won this tournament, I would not be surprised, but I'm not going to bet on him. He needs to show me something before I'm willing to put him on my card. I like Patrick Reed, too. I'm a huge Patrick Reed fan. The numbers show that short game's at a premium at the Open Championship, and Patrick Reed's just got hands of gold. It would not surprise me at all to see him in contention. He's also been playing very well. He had a good showing at the Masters, and apparently he's been playing well on live. Other than that, I don't know, like Koepka, DJ, guys like that. I'm not into DeChambeau, like I said, because of his ball flight. He has not played well at links golf. Koepka, another dude. Like if he won, I wouldn't be surprised, but he just hasn't shown us anything. I don't know if he's hurt. He's just not near top form.
Any other long shots down the board that you've seen, like all the way down, that you really like?
Yeah, I do. I put money this morning on two guys that I really like. I got Cam Young at 80-1. Cam is a frustrating golfer as well because he's super talented. Everybody's waiting for him to break through and get a big win. He has had some really good showings at Opens in the past. He's been playing good golf this summer. I just love the 80-1 number. And then a guy named Ryan Fox, who's there, got a links experience. He won an 80 Open here. But he's really coming in. I think he has had success at Port Rush, too. I think in 2019 he did well there. So I'm going to throw a couple bucks on both those guys. I like the odds.
Very good, very good. Okay, let's talk about the coverage. As a viewer, and someone like you that's, will not miss this stuff, how does the time change affect, you in your ability to consume this tournament?
It's kind of a bummer. I mean, they've done a better job. They play these guys. I think these guys finish their rounds at like 9 o'clock at night. So it's up 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Work. So in some ways I enjoy it. It's certainly not prime time like most of the events, but it's not brutal.
All right, the broadcast team. I like these guys, man. Dan Hicks, Mike Tirico, Terry Gannon. Obviously, we're talking about NBC. Brad Faxon, Steve Sands. Are you happy with this group? Do you like the NBC guys?
Totally, they're great. I'm not as of that as you are, but I do really like Dan Hicks and Tirico. They're great. Nance is always going to be my favorite because they're great as well.
Can we talk about, just for 2 seconds, because I'm obsessed with this guy, Terry Gannon, okay? Like, he's from Chicago. He played on Jimmy V's 83 team, was like a key member, like coached for Jimmy V. Then he gets into broadcasting as like an analyst. Somebody's like, hey, let's let him do play. He's Olympic. he's covered the NBA, doing the NBA. He really is, dude. And I think he's the most underrated broadcaster like out there right now, as far as like what he's accomplished as an athlete and his versatility now as a play-by-play guy.
Agreed. He's awesome. Yeah.
All right, last one for you. We have Kara Banks doing the interviews this week. Are you familiar?
I know the name, but I can't put the name with the face.
Okay, well that screws us up because I needed you to pick between Banks and Ballion.
I'm a huge Ballion fan, man. She's she's on my TV screen. Seems like every week. I watch golf every week. I love Balliona, so I don't even know who Kara Banks is. Oh no, I do know who Kara Banks is. I do.
She's married to the guy Ollie Banks.
I know who she is. Sorry, Balliona.
Yeah,
although I do like Kara Banks as well.
She's married to the guy owner of the golf team Majestic's. That means, but she's. Nance is so proud of her and her progress. He just loves it, right?
He is.
There really is a father-daughter thing there. I think he loves it.
Yeah. Yeah. She is great.
Mike Barton, let's get you playing golf this morning. Tell our good friends Tony Hayden and Andrew Addy we all said hello. Okay.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
All right, great job, dude.
See you.
For 75 years, Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. No gimmicks, just durable, well-designed bottles built to last. Join us on our mission to amplify life, not complicate it. Because at Nalgene, what goes into our bottles matters as much as the adventures they fuel. Explore more at nalgene.com. That's NALGENE.com. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Since 2003, we've been connecting buyers and sellers, providing access to sold-out events at prices lower than most secondary market options. Whether it's sports, theater, or concerts, our massive nationwide network ensures you get the tickets you want, guaranteed. For the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. That's TICKETLIQUIDATOR.com. Ticket Liquidator.
I'm Hunter, the founder of Hello Cake, and today we're digging into ED meds. The #1 thing we hear is that guys are sick of waiting for ED meds to kick in. Traditional ED meds take about an hour to kick in as they have to go through your digestive system, where Hello Cake's ED medication dissolves under your tongue and works in about 15 minutes. That's about 3 times faster than traditional ED medication. Curious about ED meds? Go to hellocake.com.
InMotion is more than just a name. It's a legacy of innovation. From supplying electric vehicle parts like motors and inverters since the 1960s to creating cutting-edge electric scooters, hoverboards, and unicycles, InMotion is shaping the future of mobility. Whether you're looking for industrial power solutions or accessible personal transport, InMotion has you covered. Explore our products and experience the future of movement. Visit store.inmotionworld.com today.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files, remove malware and viruses, and protect your device. It also optimizes your Mac's hard disk, fixes disk permission issues, and cleans memory, all to boost your Mac's performance to the max. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
Finding a sleep sack that my baby likes has been a struggle.
The sleep sack from Joy is a major upgrade.
It's all-natural eucalyptus, which is breathable and hypoallergenic, which is really great for your baby's sensitive skin.
And it's made with Climatech, which regulates your baby's temperature.
You can also get Joy's crib sheets, which are made of the same super soft material.
Joy gave my baby comfort
and gave me peace of mind.
At Matt Piffle, we believe in celebrating your journey, past, present, and future. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence, elevate creativity, and honor what matters most. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
Maud Lily is your go-to for stylish and affordable fashion that fits your life. Whether you're looking for the perfect swimsuit for a beach day, a chic dress for a night out, or cozy tops for everyday wear, Maud Lily has it all. Their extensive collection of swimwear, including bikinis, tankinis, and one-pieces, always keeps you on trend, while their dresses and tops come in flattering styles for every occasion. Visit maudlily.com today.
Remember we talked about we were going to talk about Slovacics now, right? Because we're presented by Slovacics. By the way, I spoke at a class at MCC last night here in Central Texas. I walk into the room and some kid has a clear bag, Slovacics. He's got it. He's got the kolaches. And then this morning, and I, by the way, referenced to this young man that the Pete Sousa show was presented by Slovacics. And then Scotty B. Come on, man. Let's go. You got to get Slovacics. And Scotty B is our number one fan. Slovacics is our number one supporter. And we, right now with 60,000 subscribers, we just hit this morning, I think we're doing our part. So thank you to everybody for being a part of this this little joyride with us as we were talking to Murph, if you just heard, talking about Scotty Scheffler. You know, the journey, the climb is the best part. And thanks to you guys and Slovacics and people like Scotty B, this has been a ton of fun. I'll tell you what's a ton of fun. This is 2 nights ago now, and I wrestled with sharing this with you guys because I was like, how much interest is there going to be in this? You know, I'm a guy from the Northeast. I grew up listening to Philadelphia sports radio, and also when the time was right and the signal was right, I could get WFAN 660 in New York City, or the New York just metro area, Long Island, where I could hear Mike and Mike. So Mike Francesa, just kind of and also he was on CBS, right? He did actually the college football stuff on CBS in the late 80s and early 90s. And I was like, who is this guy? But he was more of like a New York guy, you know. It turned out he was like a Parcells guy, but he kind of was a gambling guy too, and just a sports savant, really. And he paired so well with Chris Mad Dog Russo. But he still has his show. It's on Bet Rivers. It's the Mike Francesa podcast. And Mike went to see Superman. And I'm just going to share some of this with you. His review on Superman is absolutely compelling, entertaining, riveting. Scotty, let's take a listen. Hit it.
First of all, forget the political innuendos, and they're about as subtle as a jackhammer in the movie, but that's today's Hollywood. That's the climate we live in. Everybody's got to make a political statement. Okay, forget that part. You can read that in the reviews. I don't care about that. I'm not getting into that. What I'm getting into is this stunk as for someone who's a old-time TV show Superman guy trying to get entertained for a couple hours and wants to see Superman. This movie was pure torture to sit through. Torture. I mean, I'll tell you this. If my name was on the credits, I'd hide it. That's how bad it was. This was 2 hours of this new Superman. It was he wasn't Christopher Reeves, but he was okay Superman. 2 hours of him getting the crap beat out of him. Who wants to see Superman get beat up for 2 hours? He's getting beat up by everybody. Plus, you have other superheroes in the movie. I didn't go there to see some guy named Mr. Terrific. I didn't go there to see the Green Lantern or some lady named Hawk something or other. I don't even know who she was. Okay, these other superheroes who he calls on. Who are these other superheroes? This is a Superman movie. You want to see Superman flirt with Lois Lane, keep his disguise, and battle crime. That's what you want to see. And good triumph over evil. That's Superman. A little tongue-in-cheek, a little cartoonish, a little campy. Okay, this was unmitigated garbage. First of all, early on, there's robots. I don't want robots. Okay, I don't want robots taking care of Superman. I don't. Then there's a super dog. Who came up with a super dog? I mean, we all like dogs, okay? And I didn't like the dog getting beat on in the movie. It bothered me. But hey, Who came up with a dog with a cape? When did that arrive? I watched Superman for years on television. I never saw a dog with a cape. I never saw robots. And in this movie, Superman's in trouble. Lex Luthor's getting the best of him. Everybody in the movie is beating the heck out of him. I thought Jimmy Olsen was going to take a shot at him. I thought Lois Lane was going to throw him out a window. I mean, he got beat up by everybody. He got the absolute bejesus. If you want to go see Superman and get beat up for 2 hours, he got beat up for 2 hours. This is Superman. And this had nothing to do with Superman. It had to do with superheroes. It had to do with a war in the Middle East. It had to do with a crazy Lex Luthor. And in the end, Lois Lane is trying to save him by going into the inner earth and a different layer of being with Mr. Terrific, whoever the hell he is. And she is driving a spaceship off the Daily Planet. Now, wait a second. Lois Lane's supposed to be falling off a building and being caught by Superman. This is not made for Lois Lane to be driving a spaceship to save Superman. I'm like, what the heck am I watching here? The dog was a bigger hero than Superman was.
All right, that's good. That's fine. Yo, that was a classic review. We've got our resident Superman expert in here, Zach Burke. I know Zach's off camera, but you'll be able to hear him. Zach, obviously a member of the Rogue Media Network family and a Superman aficionado. Yeah. I know you've been talking about this James Gunn Superman for a while.
Yeah.
I just want to hear your reaction as a sports guy who has a feel for Mike Francesa and also a Superman superfan.
Yeah.
Like what say you to that?
I think it's hilarious. Like listening to him, like I laughed at that. I think we saw kind of two completely different movies. Or also he kind of sounded a little bit at times like, your old uncle trying to describe like what he saw like when he was there. Not saying that he was kind of out of touch, but it seemed like this was not a movie, obviously, for Mike, even going in for it. Like, I don't know what he went to. The thing that I laughed at the hardest, too, was like him talked about the other superheroes in there. If you watched a trailer at all, you already knew they were going to be in there. So his like shock to me is just kind of hilarious of like, well, I went to see that. But like, if you saw the trailer, you kind of at least knew like, okay, I'm going to see these people. So that it was just
what do you make of the complaint that, because I have to agree with Mike, like there's, But he and I are simple Superman fans, right? Literally, Christopher Reeve, 1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah. Well, not 4. 4's coming.
4 is terrible. But when you see him talk about Superman getting his ass kicked for 2 hours, I feel like he's got a point there because even when I was a kid, like in Superman 2, I think he gets his ass kicked and then he gets his superpowers back and then he goes and beats up the guy at the diner. Like that I can use that. A little bit of Superman and then a lot of retribution. Yeah. But I don't need to see him getting his ass kicked for 2 hours.
I think, well, it argued, like, the movie sets up, and I'm not spoiling anything by this, with, like, a, little kind of, like, Star Wars scroll that tells you, like, you are in for this part of the story because he is the strongest of everything. And it starts with, 300 years ago, this happened, 3 months ago, that, and you start 3 minutes ago, he lost his first fight ever. Like, it's setting you up, like, this is something he's never had to deal with.
Okay.
So it's him, it's character growth is him. Like, does he get his I can't explain why. Like some of it you realize, well, yeah, that's why that person's kicking his ass. Like it would make sense. But I know that a lot of people have that concern. I watched it and I didn't feel like he just got his ass kicked.
What was your overall, like, what are you getting from this film? Like did it satisfy you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It satisfies the urge for me. Maybe if it's not necessarily like the power fantasy of like seeing him like beat everybody up, but if you think about the Christopher Reeves movies in a way of like just that Superman that's like there to like help everybody and kind of say like the good, just like the kindness and empathy of like just that pureness of Christopher Reeves, this Superman has that in spades. And this feels very much like a Christopher Reeve Superman in that way.
What did you think about what he said? I love what he said about Lois Lane. Like that's a great point, dude. I think we take these characters, and I guess Mike and we got cement shoes in the past.
Yeah.
That's possible too, because my vision of Lois Lane is not a superhero Lois Lane.
Because I'd argue, and she's not necessarily a superhero, but she's been a strong, very like, independent woman in the comics since like the 80s when they revamped it. So this isn't anything new there. Not trying to like date, but the Lois Lane he's talking about So Lois Lane back in the 50s, where all she wanted to do was marry Superman, and she wanted to devise plans of how to trick him into doing that, and that's all she was into. That's when she was purposely like falling off of buildings to, get him to come save her. Comic book writers in general, her as a character, she's grown and she's become very much more of like, she's that bulldog journalist who will not take Superman's shit. And so she's very much like that in the movie.
How do you feel about, now, when you see this, people are calling Superman a flop or a bust. Is it a flop or a bust? Is that... seriously, I mean, like,
so I think honestly, DC had a lot of work to do in general, just to completely like gain trust of anybody back. They had everything that happened with the last time they did this with the Flash and Batman vs Superman, like everything, their whole universe, and just it kind of crumbled, and they want to get as far away from that in general. But I think the fan base too is just like, we've seen what you've done before when you pitched this to us. We don't trust you fully. So I think more than needing to be just the best comic book movie ever, I think that Superman just needed to at least get people to be like, okay, we're interested in what DC's doing now. We're buying back on board with this and what James Gunn has to do. And I think it very much does that.
All right, there you go, Zach Burke. You can catch him coming up. He's going to be on the Cam Stewart Show. That show kicks off in about 1 minute, which means Zach needs to get to work and we need to move on. Coming back tomorrow, we are very much looking forward to joining you tomorrow. We're still kind of cobbling together exactly who we're going to have appear, but I can tell you I'll be there, and so will Scotty. We'll be right back here, and we can't wait. The Pete Sousa experience continues. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Slovacics. Thanks to Zach Burke, Scotty Swingler, Mike Barton Jr., and thanks to Slovacics, right? And so, Sikora Family Ford. Let's go. Go to Sikora Family Ford. I'm serious, man. If you're looking for a car, they're right out in West. And if something happens in that car, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers. But nothing's going to happen because it's Sikora Family Ford. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me, and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.